Hey, what's happening, my Jack family? Coach Scott here, jackedafter40.com. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the best training frequency for men over 40, more specifically, how many times you should train each muscle group per week. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. More than anything, I want to hear from you down in the comment section below. Let me know what you find is the best training frequency for yourself. Share your insights from today's video, and if you have any questions, any topics you want me to cover in future videos, be sure to let me know. Based on the studies today, research tends to lean towards training a muscle group twice per week as being best for men over 40, but the difference is pretty insignificant, and when you look at all the different studies, you really could make a case for various different training frequencies. There's a lot at play. There's so many different factors here, and it really pains me to see some men over 40 really taking this research as gospel and only training each muscle group 2 times per week. They're really missing out on the bigger picture and really missing on how research is really supposed to help us, which is just kind of guide us, give us something to experiment with. And as for myself, most of my training career, I trained each muscle group 1 time per week. And as I started paying more attention to the research that was coming out and seeing various training frequencies being studied, it opened my mind. That's really what it should do for you, is to you look at the research and think to yourself, maybe there's potential for this. So I began to experiment with training each muscle group twice per week, and then I experimented with 3 times per week. And then when some of those higher frequency training studies came out, 5-6 times per week, I thought, you know what, it's totally not against in terms of my beliefs or anything, but it's completely opposite of how I have trained most of my training career here, way out of my norm. But I thought, you know what, rather than butting my head up against this and holding my ground and saying like body part splits are the best way to go, training each muscle group 1 time per week or 2 times per week is the best way to go, it's ridiculous to try to train a muscle group 5 or 6 times per week. I said, you know what, let's see, there's studies out there that are showing there's a benefit to this. Why not experiment myself and based on the guidelines that they followed in their study and see how my body responds to it. And that's the best experiment. That's the best research right there. You take the lab research out there, which has its limitations, and kind of work it within your programming yourself and see how your body responds to it. When designing your workout plan and deciding how often you want to train each muscle group per week, you really need to consider the benefit that training frequency brings to the table, which is its usefulness in manipulating training volume while managing muscle damage and recovery. And that's on a weekly basis. But first we need to take a look at the training volume that you can handle on a per workout basis. And based on the research to date, we're looking at somewhere between 3 and 10 sets as being best for men over 40. Once you get to that point of going beyond 10 sets per muscle group per workout, you start to reach a point of diminishing returns, where the effectiveness, that what you're gaining out of each set after set 10, it starts to decline. You're not getting as much out of that set. So it's kind of better to stay within that sweet spot, for the most part, somewhere between 3 and 10 sets per workout. So what you can take from that is that if you're performing a low volume training phase somewhere in the range of 8 to 12 sets per muscle group per week, you can basically train each muscle group with whatever frequency you desire and experience a similar training effect. So whether you're a jacked after 40 bro who absolutely loves getting a pump on, hitting each muscle group with higher volume, you can perform a body part split routine, training each muscle group just 1 time per week and experience a similar training effect as your fellow jacked after 40 bro who prefers to spread out the training volume and training each muscle group 2 to 3 times per week. It's once you get up to that 14 to 20 set range per muscle group per week that you really have to start spreading that volume out through multiple workouts throughout the week. And that's really going to come down to personal preference and how well you manage muscle damage and recovery. And don't feel like you have to distribute that volume evenly throughout the week as well. So for example, if your goal is to hit 18 sets per muscle group per week and you're training each muscle group 3 times per week, don't feel locked into having to spread it out to 6 sets one workout, 6 sets another workout, and 6 sets the third workout. And if you're training the muscle group 2 times per week, don't feel like you have to do it 9 sets one workout and 9 sets the second workout. You can vary the volume each time that you train it throughout the week. For example, let's take a look at the Jacked After 40 Shred system, which has 2 different versions built around recovery and personal preference, and both fall within that 14 to 20 set per muscle group per week range. With the hardcore version, it's built for the bro who absolutely loves high volume training and can recover from it exceptionally well. With that plan, you're training each muscle group 2 times per week, and we're not distributing the volume evenly. We're gonna have one workout where you're punishing the muscle group with approximately 12 sets, and then another workout later in the week where you're prodding it with 6 sets. With the max recovery plan, we're gonna spread the volume across 3 workouts for the week, and again, the volume is not evenly distributed. You're going to punish it with 9 sets for one workout. You're going to lightly prod it later on in the week with I believe just 3 sets, and then you're going to prod it once again a few days later with 6 sets. So spreading it out across 3 workouts per week and not distributing the volume evenly there. And when you start training each muscle group with more than 20 sets per week, I'd highly recommend that you spread that volume across at least 3 workouts per week in order to help you recover to the best of your ability. And when you start getting upwards, like super high volume training towards 30 sets per week, that's when you're really going to want to consider spreading that across, I'd say 5 workouts per week. Something like I posted recently, I'll include a link up above and down below to the best full body workout for men over 40, where I performed a high volume training phase and recovered exceptionally well because of how I distributed that training volume throughout the week. So the best training frequency for men over 40 is going to come down to a few key factors. Number one being how much volume you're working each muscle group with per week. So the more sets you are working a muscle group per week, the more you're going to want to spread that volume out throughout the week. So the more frequently you're going to want to train a muscle group. The second factor is how much volume you find that you can recover from and perform well with in a single workout. Some Jacked After 40 bros, after 6 sets for a particular muscle group in a workout, they start to feel beat up. It's tougher to recover from. It takes them longer to recover from. So those Jacked After 40 bros are going to want to train that muscle group with more frequently throughout the week, so spreading out that volume. Whereas if you're a Jacked After 40 bro who absolutely loves higher volume and can thrive and recover from higher volume training, you can probably train each muscle group less frequently, or at least distribute the volume a little bit differently throughout the weeks to make sure that you're at least getting one of those workouts where you're really punishing it with higher volume. And then factor number 3 is just personal preferences. This is all about having fun and enjoying the process. And to me personally, a part of that is experimenting with various training frequencies. They all have their purposes. They all bring something different to the table. And more than anything, it can spark some change and enthusiasm in your training. So even if you have a strong preference and desire for a certain frequency, I recommend mixing it up. Have some fun. Do a bro split occasionally, like maybe for 4 weeks. It has its benefits. One of those benefits is adding more myonuclei to your muscles, which is really one of the big factors in your growth potential. And if you're a bro who prefers those body part split routines, you can benefit from training a muscle group more frequently. Even if it's not your most preferred style of training, you can benefit from the change, and more than anything, it can give your body a break and just bring some enthusiasm to your changing. Just challenge your body in different ways. It will surprise you. It definitely surprised me, and I continue to experiment with different splits and with spreading out the volume, distributing it differently throughout the week. Have fun with your training. Experiment. Take that research with a grain of salt. Use it to apply to your training. Just experiment with different approaches and have a keen, heightened sense of awareness to how well you are recovering from it and how well your body is responding. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. Before you go, make sure you take a moment to drop a comment down below. Share your thoughts and insights on today's video. Share your favorite training frequency. Let me know if you vary your training frequency and how you use it to manipulate and manage your overall training volume. And before you go, Don't forget to download your free guide, Jacked After 40. I hope you have yourself an absolutely amazing day. I'll catch you in the next video.